More spending, more problems. Hillary Clinton enlisting Vice President Biden to help her sell that big-ticket government giveaway. Fiscal hawk Larry Winget says that both parties are avoiding that big thing that's hanging over our markets, and it's called debt. Hey, Larry, there was a time when it was the number one issue out there. What happened?
Well, you know, who wants to talk about something ugly like the debt and the deficit? I mean, wouldn't we rather talk about all the free stuff we can get? I think that's why people have given up talking about the debt and the deficit.
Well, then, listen, we're looking at, on both sides where there's going to be a whole lot of spending, government spending, and no one's convinced that there'll be enough on the revenue side to pay for it all.
You know, the sad thing is, again, what I just said, that most people don't even understand the difference between the debt and the deficit. And when you have 43% of Americans who spend more money than they earn, they frankly don't care about the government spending more money than it takes in.
Well, but there was a time, I guess maybe because it was in the aftermath of the Great Recession, where people did have that comeuppance, that reckoning that you're talking about in their own personal lives, and started to have an epiphany. Hey, if this happened to me, I don't want it to happen to my country. You think then that's just fading away?
I do. I think we're detached from all of that. We're much more in touch with the daily benefits than the daily costs of government. More people are interested right now in what they can take instead of what they can earn and what they can give back. That's a sad place in our country. It's a sad commentary on society. I wish we would get back to the place where we use common sense, we learn to spend less than we earn, and we learn to pay off our debts. I'm all for everybody having anything they want as long as they can afford it. And we're not seeing both sides right now talk about a plan where we can afford what they're proposing.
I guess the flip side of this, though, Larry, is, for a long time, Republicans told us that we were, going to fall off the cliff under Barack Obama. And, while we have a sluggish economy, we didn't necessarily go off the cliff. And the fact of the matter is it took Greece a long time before it did. But do you think we're going to get to the point of no return soon?
Oh, I think we'll reach that tipping point where there are more takers than makers. Right now, what we have to remember, especially in a political season, is it's never as bad as some of them say, and it's never going to be as good as most of them promise.
Is there such a thing, though, as good debt versus bad debt? In other words, if we double the size of the military, isn't that a debt worth having?
You know, that, to me, that's a debt worth having in order to protect our borders and protect our country. But there still has to be a way to pay for good debt. You know, a lot of people in the past considered their mortgage to be good debt. And then they bought more than they could afford, and they couldn't make the payment, so it didn't turn out to be good debt. I want to make sure that regardless of what we spend the money on, whether it makes sense, we still have the ability to pay for it.
So you're talking higher taxes, or are you supply side, or you think, hey, you lower the taxes enough, you'll generate the kind of economic activity that will fill the coffers of government?
I think that makes the most sense. I actually love when we put people back to work, we lower the taxes on businesses, we put them to work, and then we earn a lot more money. That's how the government gets to take in more money, through the taxes of working people.
All right, Larry Winget. Words of wisdom as usual. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Charles.
All righty. Hey, by the way, you're looking live. That's Youngstown, Ohio, where Donald Trump is going to lay out his strategy to defeat ISIS in just about an hour. We've got some new details on his speech, so stick around.
All new for